It's been just over 3 weeks since Hurricane Ian. We all remember him, devastated parts of southwest Florida. But there are signs of progress in some really hard-hit areas. For instance, a damaged Sanibel Island causeway reopened to residents yesterday, 2 days ahead of schedule. But miles from the coast, Florida's citrus crop was badly damaged. Now, this is a major setback for agriculture, the state's largest second industry. And if you drink juice, and most of us do, you could see a price hike. Manuel Bojorquez is in Florida. Manny, where are you exactly in Florida?
We are in Alturas, Florida. This is part of the citrus growing region here. That's right. And so for context, painting the picture here, Ian made landfall about 90 miles from this area, but it was still a hurricane when it came through this grove. So it stripped the trees of fruit that was soon to be harvested, knocked down other trees like this one, and some were so waterlogged, they may be ruined too.
Fruit hit the ground and washed away.
Ben Krause is a third-generation citrus grower. He walked through these groves as a 2-year-old and says this is by far the worst storm damage he's seen.
It looks like a river went through here.
Yeah, and it did. I mean, you're exactly right.
Over 2,000 acres, he estimates losing 40 to 50% of the crop. White, sandy soil marks where it flooded.
This is the kind of thing that would put you out of business. You know, half your crop gone in a night. There's nothing that you can really do to prepare for something like that.
Florida's citrus grows across 375,000 acres that sprawl over much of what became Ian's path. One estimate puts losses to the state's overall agricultural industry at more than $1.5 billion, up to $304 million from citrus. But as growers like Steve Johnson assess their losses, that figure could grow.
We don't know the effects of the water on the root systems and what it's done. And so those are things that are long-lasting that may not show up for 6 to 8 months.
Florida growers were already struggling with a tree disease called citrus greening that left fruit smaller and unusable. They were starting to see advances against the disease when Ian hit.
This is not where you want to see the oranges.
Shannon Shep is executive director of the Florida Department of Citrus.
It's such a huge moment. We're standing in a place where tourists don't usually think of in Florida, but this is a backbone of our state's economy. You've got truck dealers and tire dealers and diners on the corner and schools that are fed by the economy driven by agriculture.
And despite the losses here, Ben Krause says he's driven to keep the family business going.
As tough as it might be at this point to keep going, you feel like you have to.
I do, and I've got a son that's 2 now, and I bring him through these same groves, and I don't want it to end on my watch.
As he and other growers try to recover, it is worth noting that nearly 90% of Florida oranges are turned into juice. So the losses here, of course, raising concerns about a price hike, a possible one at the supermarket, but that largely depends on supply from other orange-producing areas. Tony?
Wow, and there really is no replacement for a glass of orange juice in the morning. Manny, thank you very much.
And something tells me that price hike is coming, but I really admire, as devastating as it is, he still says he wants to continue. He's got a son.
Yeah.
And I like what he said. I don't want it to happen on my watch.
Yeah.
Love that kind of dedication.
Every generation is a caretaker for the next.
Exactly.
You know, we want to leave it. We want to pass it on in good condition.
Yeah. Exactly right.
And it's important because people that are in this generational transfer of their businesses, their livelihoods, they depend on that for their income.
Yeah.
So we want to be supportive of that.
That's true.